Pierre Poilievre absolutely went off today in question period. He's been really going after markcarney and the Liberals really hard lately, now that he has returned to the House. Markcarney wasn't there today. He's in Mexico, apparently doing a lot of productive things, so we're told. Either way, we're going to have a look at this exchange between Pierre Poilievre and Melanie Joly. Now, before we do get into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help grow the channel. Now, let's get into it, and then we'll talk about it after.
Oral questions, questions orales. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister is in Mexico today for a photo op and fake agreement, but it's a great opportunity to compare because both countries are neighbors of the United States. In the last quarter, Canada's economy shrunk by 1.6%, while the Mexican economy grew by 2.4%. Wow. The Canadian exports to the United States crashed by 18%, while Mexican exports to the U.S. are up 1.4%. Wow. And the Canadian unemployment rate is 3 times higher than Mexicans. Wow. Will the Prime Minister ask his Mexican friends what they're doing right that he's doing so wrong?
Right here.
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister believes in having a strong relationship with Mexico, our second biggest trading partner. That's exactly why he is in Mexico today, meeting with the President to make sure that we can have our trading relationship really on par. Now, the other thing that the Leader of the Opposition needs to understand is that we're living in a much more dangerous and complicated world with trade tensions having impacts on trading partners all around the world. We will stand up for workers, we'll stand up for our businesses, and we'll build Canada strong.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
This is the time in the life cycle of any Liberal government when they go from making promises to making excuses. So they're blaming their collapsing economy on global tensions. But interestingly, Mexico shares the same neighbor as we do. We're both right next door to the Americas, so we can compare performance. But in the most recent quarter, the Mexican economy has actually grown by 2.4%. The Canadian economy down by 1.6%. Our unemployment is three times what theirs is. Why?
Yeah, it's weird, right? I mean, Mexico does have the same trading partner and relationship with the United States. Why are they doing so much better? Why is our government continuing to destroy this country and everything that was good that we had? Can't get jobs, can't buy a house, can't feel safe. It's very interesting.
Honourable Minister of Industry.
Mr. Speaker, what is shocking from the Leader of the Opposition comments is always talking down Canadian workers, Canadian businesses, the Canadian economy. You know what? Good news is the Bank of Canada...
He's not talking it down. He's saying it is down because of the incompetence of the Liberal Party. He's not talking down to Canadian workers or to the Canadian economy. He's just saying, hey, look, why is Mexico doing better than us when they have the same trading relationship as with the United States as we do? It's a fair question. And then it's of course, this guy's a meanie head. He's talking down to people. He's like Trump. It's just they've been doing it for so long. It's like, when are their own supporters going to get tired of it?
Yesterday reduced rates. We should all be celebrating that. This is good news, Mr. Speaker. And we will be there for businesses in the tariff sectors, including aluminum, steel, auto, copper, and all the other sectors, because we know that these workers are important, these businesses are important, and we have a plan to build Canada strong.
We have a plan, they say.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
We support workers, and particularly the 86 million workers who have lost their jobs because of Liberal policies who are collapsing our economy. Question. Mexico has grown its economy by 2.4%, while Canada has seen a shrinking of 1.6%. Mexican imports to the U.S. have gone up, where ours have lost, gone down by 18%, and their unemployment is 3 times lower than ours. Why? The Honourable Minister of Industry. Clearly, the Leader of the Opposition doesn't know what he's talking about. because when we look at the Canadian economy right now, interest rates are down. The Bank of Canada has announced 2.5% for its key rate. It's good news for all those who have homes or are on the point of buying one. Right now, we know we have to work with Mexico and also the U.S., but our strategy is not only to build strong Canada, but also to look to other trade partners in Europe and Asia, and also in Mexico, of course, as well, to grow our economy.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
We've had a free trade agreement with Mexico for almost 3 decades. So the Prime Minister is going for nothing more than a photo op, another fake engagement. Just like the minister talks about interest rates, the Bank of Canada said the reason they're cutting rates while inflation is rising is because our economy is collapsing. They promised the fastest growing economy in the G7. They've delivered the fastest shrinking economy in the G7. They promised more home building. It's falling by 13%. They promised to spend less. Their deficit spending is 100% more. You know, talk is cheap, but why is it so expensive when this Prime Minister does it?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
We know that the Leader of the Opposition believes in isolationism, which is basically that Canada is by itself in the world. We believe that we need to engage in...
Is she drunk? Didn't her and Elizabeth May share a bottle of whiskey in the back? Like, what's happening here? Isolationism? He thinks that Canada... Oh, so you're saying that Pierre doesn't want any trade deal with it. He's never said that. That's never been the case. Melanie Joly is... She might be doing hard drugs now. Maybe alcohol's not enough. Maybe she turned to something else. I mean, this is ridiculous.
The world, we need to make sure that Canada is working with trading partners from Mexico, from Europe to Asia, and that is why the Prime Minister will continue to travel to make sure to engage with leaders of this in the world, because we believe that it is the way to build a strong economy at home, save and protect jobs, create new ones, attract foreign direct investments, and ultimately to make sure that Canada's voice of peace and multilateralism is heard in the world.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, we've had free trade agreements with all of those countries and regions for over a decade. And yet the Prime Minister is busy, looking busy, flying around, grip and grin, pretending to do a lot while doing very little. But he could make use of all of that expensive travel by asking all of those other places why their economy is so much stronger than the one that he now leads. He's got, under his leadership, the second highest unemployment in the G7, the worst economic growth in the G7, the worst household debt in the G7, and the worst household debt and housing costs in the G7. Why is it that when he promises to be the first, he's the worst?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, as we look at what's happening with global trade headwinds, we need to step up as a country and be there around the world to make sure countries know that we are here. They want to deal with a reliable, stable trading partner. It's our 15 free trade agreements with 51 different countries, access to 1.5 billion consumers that countries rely on, that Canadian workers rely on. And that's why the Prime Minister will be there to make sure we're opening up new markets for Canadian businesses and workers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, these aren't new markets. The member might have been asleep. Actually, he seems like a very young man. Maybe he wasn't born when Brian Mulroney negotiated NAFTA with the...
You watch the Liberals just have an absolute meltdown. He attacked me. The meatyhead, the attack dog, Pierre Poilievre has attacked me again. He's just like Trump. You watch the tears flow from their face.
Mexicans. Maybe the Prime Minister was sleeping the day Conservatives negotiated a free trade agreement with the Europeans. He's going around taking credit for things that he never did while his economy collapses here at home. Canadians cannot eat, heat, or house themselves. Will the Prime Minister stop making excuses, taking fake trips, and get down to his job?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, I won't go to personal attacks as the member opposite has. We'll focus on the facts. There's people watching in the gallery. I think it's very important to know that Canada and Mexico share over 30 years of strong strong friendship and economic partnerships rooted in trust and trade and mutual respect. In fact, Canadian direct investment in Mexico was over $45 billion in 2024. The Prime Minister will be meeting with President Sheinbaum to defend our industries and grow our economies, Mr. Speaker. Canada is committed to CUSMA, and we're actively collaborating with Mexico, and that's why the Prime Minister is there to make sure.
All right, we're going to cut off there, but you see what I mean? But this is the Pierre that we need back. And I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad he's pushing the buttons and saying what he needs to say and getting right on the Liberals' ass, because let's be honest, they keep saying the same things, they keep making the same promises, and yet the results are still the same. We get a whole lot of nothing in this country, and they keep saying, oh, we're going to build Canada strong, we got plans, we got this, we got that. 10 years, and they've got a plan, everybody. So in the Liberals' mind, they think you should celebrate, even though they've got a plan, a lot of talk, but no action.